you'll recall that I guess this was 2 years ago now at Politicon, year and a half, I don't remember. I had the opportunity to debate Charlie Kirk. And there's been an interesting story that's out by ProPublica about Turning Points USA and some discrepancies or some questions that people have about their tax status and about how much money Charlie Kirk is getting paid. And maybe I'll save that for tomorrow because it's a funny story because that came up right before our debate, actually. But Charlie Kirk is a guy who's been running this organization that ostensibly is for college students. But really it's one of those things where it's for old people who are on the right and want to think that they're influencing college students.
Whose grandkids are in college.
Whose grandkids might be in college. And probably they're mad. Like, Jenny came home and was talking about Black Lives Mattering. That type of thing. Where can I pour money in?
Black Lives Matter counterpoint.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's the way the guy has made a considerable amount of money and made big inroads. He's very close with Donald Trump and the Trump crew of people. And here is Charlie Kirk. Now, I don't know. Does he have a show that is on? Is that what it's called? The Charlie Kirk Show?
That's what it looks like.
Ooh, I guess he's rolling that out.
New to me.
Okay. And
so you gotta come in, first episode, you gotta come in with the top of your game.
Exactly.
Roll out and everything.
Exactly. And I have my sound sheet here. My assistant brought it in. Actually, I don't have it. Oh, I hadn't printed it out yet. So let's get to that. This is a clip from the Charlie Kirk show.
Do not force me to wear a mask. It's that simple. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. The only time I comply is on the airlines because I actually need to fly the airlines to be able to do my job and travel the country so I can deliver truth to you and make an income and grow Turning Point USA. So that's the fight I do not fight. But every single time I go into one of these grocery stores, where's your mask? I say, well, first of all, the science around masks is very questionable. Very questionable. In fact, some doctors think that masks actually make you sicker and have you less likely to be able to get oxygen and more likely to infect yourself and less likely to be able to fight the virus and actually more likely.
Pause it. Let's just make something absolutely clear. There is no reputable doctor in the country who believes that wearing a mask makes you more likely to get infected. There was early on when the medical community thought that the primary way one gets infected is by touching an infected area and going to your face. And there was some concern that people would be fidgeting with their masks. There is no reputable doctor, researcher in the country, maybe in the world, who believes that masks undercut your ability to get oxygen. That's absurd. All you need to do is watch a fictional television show, and you will see all of these doctors when they go into surgery and they're wearing masks. And why are they wearing masks? Because they don't want the stuff inside them to get inside the body. They don't want their germs to be projected out. And again, I'll remind you, this notion, like you see these people with taking a CO2 meter and putting it in their mask and going, look at the CO2 reading. The difference in size between a molecule of CO2 or a molecule of the coronavirus is like the equivalent to I don't know, this may be actually even understating it, a golf ball to a massive beach ball. CO2 will go through the fibers of any mask that you're wearing, unless it's a plastic bag over your head. Whereas the coronavirus, much less likely to make it through because it's much, much larger. I think we got some response last time. I think it's like 1,000 times bigger. Still very tiny to the naked eye. But let's just roll that out there. But go ahead.
Oxygen and more likely to infect yourself and less likely to be able to fight the virus and actually more likely to be able to die sooner. A lot of people believe that. I've met many doctors that hold that view. Secondly, we have a huge civil liberty issue here. Why do you have the authority to tell me what I can and cannot do with my body? I thought it was my body, my choice. I thought that was the entire thought process as to why we are wrongly able to terminate 1 million children in the womb every single year. And so I just don't like being told.
Let's see. What, and I maybe I've missed in the video. Maybe Charlie's put it out there. But no shoes, no shirt, no service in a restaurant. I mean, are we really? Is he really going to complain about that as well? Why do you get There's a big difference between the government telling you what to do and a business telling you what to do. Now, it is the case that in public, in some areas where there is a mandatory mask requirement, but there is a large body of, and it has been supported by the Supreme Court, actually, even in the context of religious organizations. We have a concept in this country that rights can be abridged if there is a compelling government reason to do so. And the government has found that it's a compelling reason to do so because it's in the name of public safety. It's a little bit different. There is no public safety questions when it comes to the right of a woman to get an abortion. But continue.
Able to terminate 1 million children in the womb every single year. And so I just don't like being told what to do generally by the federal government. I'm not a type of person who plays well when the government comes in and starts to say you must put this on your face. Now, I think there's some restrictions that I support. I'm actually in the minority. I support seatbelt laws.
Pause it 1 second. There is no federal mandate, incidentally, to wear a mask. There's never been a question of one. We would like one, maybe, but there isn't one at all. Not at all. And in fact, if he has a problem with the federal government doing it, then it would make sense that he would have no problem if the city did it, in which case he'd have a problem with the states that have denied cities the opportunity, like in Georgia, to require face masks. But go.
I'm actually in the minority. I support seatbelt laws because I think seatbelts actually save lives. And I actually think it's not that big of an infringement on your liberty. I kind of disagree with a lot of people on this. I mean, some super strict libertarians say, oh, no, seatbelts ever. Okay. If you fly through the window of a car because you didn't want to wear a seatbelt and all of a sudden I have to pay for your health care, that's ridiculous. A mask might not even work. A mask is questionable at best. So the science around masks needs to be debated more. And the fact that these Republican governors are like, oh, you must wear a mask. You must wear a mask. I think it's nonsense. And I don't think it's popular. I have never met anyone that says, I just love wearing my mask. I love it. Yeah, I mean, okay. I am not a fan. I think it's dehumanizing. When I see a 4-year-old wearing a mask, I can't think but help. We have let them down, and we have robbed them of their childhood.
Well, I mean, in a way.
Yes, by making sure that their parents don't die. So let me get this straight. What about the concept of you get COVID and our healthcare system has to pay for it? We have 100 and nearly 50,000 dead. I don't even know how many more have been hospitalized for extended periods of time than that. Is it a measure 4 times, 5 times that more? It's the exact same dynamic. It's the exact same dynamic, except there is actually more of an argument that your inhibition or your refusal to wear a mask harms other people in the community more than you not wearing your seatbelt. There's a far more compelling argument that the state needs to step in and tell you to wear a mask. And the idea that there is even a shred of science that says wearing a mask makes it more likely you will catch COVID or is more dangerous is absurd.
I did some research on the Charlie Kirk show, so it's been around as a podcast since last summer, at least. But they recently did a pivot to video about a month ago. So I would just welcome. They got about 75,000 followers. I would just encourage our watchers to go welcome him to YouTube.
Absolutely. And here's the question I want to know. Now that we're seeing him in all his glory, why is his hair so long? I mean, why isn't he getting a haircut? The dude would go on an airplane without a mask if they would let him. Why doesn't he go get a haircut somewhere? He's so full of crap. It's unbelievable. And that's the beauty of what he's doing there. You can sort of like start to see the scenes a little bit. Like, I want to show you that I am not in bed with the Republicans. I think it's ridiculous that there are some Republican governors calling for masks. And yes, I think I'd say the one accurate thing is that I've yet to meet somebody who says, I love my mask.
Yeah. Also, it's funny to go back and look when he was a Ted Cruz fan in the 2016 Republican primary and was really aghast at some of Donald Trump's antics, and look at where he is now. Kind of the reverse maturity. I'll
tell you where he is now. He is making apparently at least $300,000 a year. That's where he is now. That's not bad. As a 26-year-old, that's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
He looks older than that, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's me. I think that's what's behind the hair. He's trying to keep his youthful, buoyance.
That's very possible. It's very possible. It also could be possible that he's actually genuinely afraid of getting COVID. And the one place he would be seen in public would be on an airline. And he knows he's got to make up an excuse for why he's wearing it, because he's not a total idiot.
Because if he gets COVID, we'll do a video about it.
If he gets COVID, we will do a video about it.